Hey, what's up? Chris Heider here from Ex-Boyfriend Recovery. Today we're going to be talking about 9 success stories and what we can learn from them. Now, these success stories are all taken from interviews that I did one-on-one with these people. And if you want to be like these success stories, the first thing I would always recommend for you to do is actually to go to our website right now. You can just simply pause this video and go to our website right now and take our Ex Recovery Chances quiz. This is a special quiz I designed to basically tell you what kind of chance you have of getting your ex back. Now, taking the quiz is super simple. All you got to do is simply pause the video and look in the description link below it. There should be a blue link there that says take the free 2-minute quiz. Simply click on that link and it's going to take you to a page that asks you a bunch of questions about you, your ex, and your time together. Once you've done that, you can basically get your score and then come back and complete this video. Just finish watching it. So again, if you want to take this quiz, simply look in the description link below this video and we're going to hook you up. All right, let's get started on talking about those success stories.
Getting your ex back success stories. Today we're going to be talking about 9 of them, but more specifically, their findings, meaning what are the common things that they have that we can sort of distill down and use as a sort of a cocktail for you to actually help your chances of getting your ex back. So the first thing I really want you to understand is I've actually put together a full roundup of each of these 9 success stories in the description link below. It's going to take a long time for me to sit here and actually show you the interviews I conducted with people. So what I'm going to do is actually link to a companion article that I specifically wrote for this video. So if you simply look in the description link below and look for the companion article that you see there, we are going to hook you up. It's going to take you to a page that looks just like this. It's going to take you to this page, which will say Getting Your Ex Back Success Stories. And you're going to notice that I've divided it up into really 2 parts where I really look at the success stories, which I've decided to highlight 9 of them because that's how many one-on-one interviews for like an hour I've done with actual people. And I am not only going to show you that interview that you can basically watch in its entirety, as you can see there, but I'm also going to do a quick roundup and tell you what the interview was about, some of the lessons learned from it, and also the success. As you can see, Jessie here, who is this particular success story, ended up getting married, and that's her ring. And you can see it just keeps going on and on and on until it covers all 9 of the success stories. And again, each one I'm telling you what kind of situation they're in, a little bit about what we learned, and giving you access to each of those interviews. This is completely free. Don't think you have to pay anything for this. Again, all you got to do is simply look in the description link of the YouTube video you're watching right now and look for the companion article, and it will take you to this page. Now, when you're done looking at the companion article and the success stories, you can come watch this part of the video, which is basically where I'm taking all of those 9 really in-depth, hour-long interviews that I did with people who got their exes back and looking for common themes and trends throughout all of them. Now, this is going to be important for a couple of reasons. Number one is it's going to tell us what's working in general. What are those important strategies that you need to get right? And number 2 is you're going to find that no situation is alike. What works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another person. So what I've done for you in this video is actually we're going to look at some of those common themes that happen throughout each one or almost all of the success stories on that article. And the first one is something that was present in every single success story, and that was the no contact rule. The no contact rule was present in every single success story that I've listed and interviewed, and it's a really important strategy. I think even if you distill it down even further in our private Facebook group, which I'm about to talk about in a minute, every single success story we've ever had from there has utilized a no contact rule. And when you actually just look at the website as a whole, I have data suggesting that 70% of the success stories cited that they use the no contact rule. So it's an important strategy that you absolutely need to do if you want to get your ex back. Now, is it the be all end all? No, it's simply a puzzle piece in the overall strategy, but it is a big puzzle piece. So don't fool yourself into thinking you can skip it. Because the way I like to explain it to people is the no contact rule is essentially the foundation upon which everything you're building is going to be built. So Keep that in mind. That was a clear trend that I saw. When something happens in each one of those success stories, it's something that you need to pay attention to. The second thing was actually the Facebook group. Our private support group on Facebook was cited as essential. And in fact, each one of those success stories is a member of our private Facebook group. Now, if you want information on how to get access to this Facebook group, or if you're interested in learning about how it works, all you got to do is simply look in the description link below. I know I'm really like shamelessly plugging the description link today, but there's a lot of cool resources there, and you can get access and learning more about what the Facebook group can do for you. But really, I think the reason why the Facebook group was cited as essential from multiple people that I interviewed was the fact that not only do you get access to me and some of my advice and answering some of your questions through Q&A sessions or through Facebook Lives, you're going to get access to Anna, who's another one of our coaches, my wife, who's another one of our coaches. But the more important resource is you. You're going to be a member of over 2,000 people who are going through breakups as well. So it's sort of like an instant gratification. There's no way I can get you instant support all of the time. It just doesn't exist with the resources I have and kind of this day and age. I'm not a billion-dollar company that can hire like 80 support reps to be at your beck and call 24/7. But what can be at your beck and call 24/7 is the group. So, I've seen a lot of people who said like, "Oh, I ran into my ex. I'm thinking about going up and talking to him," but they'll run it by the group first, and the group will say, "No, don't do it. Don't do it." And you can get kind of those quick responses. And the cool part is it's close to 24/7 because we've got members in the group all throughout the world. So when it's night in the US, it's day in London. When it's night in London, it's day in the US. So it's kind of cool to see how that works. And again, if you're interested in learning about the Facebook group, simply look in the description link below. It was cited as essential by all of our success stories. Well, not all, but almost all of our success stories. The next trend I found was emotional control being very important. Now, I don't know if this really bleeds through by you simply watching the interviews, but when I talked to each one of these people for at least 2 to 3 hours, because we recorded maybe for 45 minutes to an hour, but I also talked to them before and after the interview, learning about their lives and talking to them and kind of establishing a connection with them, right? And one thing that really struck me was how great emotional control they had. I deal with breakups, right? So I'm dealing with a circumstance or a situation where everyone gets highly emotional. Breakups just are emotional in general. And what I've noticed is that the more emotional you tend to get, the more likely you are to take action on those emotions, right? So you let your emotions sort of control how you're going to react to things. And I've actually found that when it comes to this, people with emotional control are actually better at implementing game plans. So that was an interesting common theme I found just by talking to a lot of these people. Now, did every single person have perfect emotional control? No, they didn't. They're human beings. I'm a human being. Everyone's a human being. No one has perfect emotional control all the time. But one thing I did see just from talking with people is a lot of them were able to sort of rein things in when it got highly emotional and look at things logically or just trust in the process. And I thought that was an important thing to mention to you. So that's an important thing that you need to keep in mind. Emotional control is important. The next interesting theme I found was some of our success stories, those 9 that I cited at the beginning of the video, used social media the right way. Now, a lot of people don't really think about social media because they think there's no instant results with social media. At least when you're doing the no contact rule, you're doing something directly to your ex, right? You're removing that freedom to talk to you away. When you're posting on social media and making your life look awesome and make them kind of want to be part of your life, you don't really get any results other than, hey, look, I'm posting stuff on social media. You're not seeing what's going on in your ex's mind. You're not seeing your ex constantly click into your Facebook profile and spy on you. And that's why I think it's often overlooked and often underrated, because there's no instant gratification or there's no sort of easy way to connect it working. But here is maybe some hope for you if you're kind of like, social media, I don't think it's that big of a deal. The thing to understand here is that when almost all of our success stories, the ones that I am citing you, that you can literally go to that companion article and read on and watch, almost all of them use social media correctly in some way, shape, or form. The one person I would really like to highlight is actually the success story Sarah Michelle. She did an incredible job with social media the second time around. If you want to know that what I mean by that reference, go to the companion article and check that out. But social media seemed to be a very important common trend throughout the success stories. And the other really common trend throughout the success story is not necessarily a good one. It's the fact that most of the success stories had to reach out to their exes first, meaning it wasn't enough for them just to enter the no contact rule and wait for their ex to talk to them. Wait 30 days and then, okay, he's supposed to contact me now or she's supposed to contact me now. It doesn't work that way. Most of our success stories had to be the first one to break the ice with their ex. Now, I actually just did a video on why people are thinking about this process the wrong way and why it's not so much who starts the conversation that matters, but who ends the conversation that matters. And most of our success stories, again, had to be the ones to reach out first. And that's something that I think you, especially if you have a little bit hang-ups about, I'm not going to reach out to him or I'm not going to reach out to her. She or him, they're going to have to be the ones to reach out to me. You have to get past that hang up. And I do want to say that you reaching out to your ex first will have no bearing on the overall chances of success. Just look at our success stories for proof. And finally, the last thing that every single one of these success stories had in common was each of them read my best-selling book, Ex Recovery Pro. Now, if you want to learn about that book, and again, realize this is a total shameless plug, and I'm totally embracing the fact that this is a shameless plug, but you wanted to know what the trends were and what the common themes were, and every single one of our success stories read my book, Ex Recovery Pro. If you want to learn about that book, simply look in the description link below. We've got information there. But I think what this does, and I'm going to get away from the shameless plug here for a moment and actually go into a teaching mode. I think the reason this is an important thing to talk about is the fact that it shows you how when someone makes a monetary investment, they're more likely to implement advice. And I think that's an important distinction to remember because most of the people who know me do not purchase anything from me. They just use the free resources online, or they use my free articles, or I know sometimes people illegally obtain my book, which really upsets me, but I can kind of get it if you're poor, right? But I think the interesting thing is when you look at the results between people who actually pay money versus people who don't pay money, the people who pay money tend to do better 9 times out of 10. Now, why is that? Well, it's because when they put a monetary investment down, they feel like they have to do something about it. They feel like if I don't do anything, this is going to be a waste of my money. So those people, because they've risked more, it requires them to take action versus the people who just read and think, hey, this is really good stuff. I'm not going to take action. And that's the important part. So I'm not saying you got to buy something from me, but I'm saying that is sort of the common trend I'm seeing. And that's why I think these particular success stories had better results.